Good day, everyone! Before the Group 8 will dive into the presentation of topics, let me leave you a quote that is very substantial in our studies. And here it goes. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. Hi, I'm Shello, and I am the first presenter together with my partner, Mr. Sulo, and we will discuss about rock cycle. The second presenter is Miss Sarukam, and she will discuss about geological hazards. And the third presenter is Miss Tamala, and she will discuss about the greenhouse effect. And the last presenters are Miss Tapping and Mr. Royo, and they will discuss about weather and climate. This video presentation do have 4 distinct objectives in relation to the 4 topics that we're going to discuss. First is to explain what is meant by rock cycle and determine its 3 major classifications. Second, explain what are geological hazards and give information on how to prevent it. Third, to identify and learn the difference between the characteristics of weather and climate and how we can combat climate change. And lastly, describe what is meant by greenhouse effect in terms of giving support to live on Earth. At this juncture, we are going to dive into our first topic, which is the rock cycle. Before we're going to go deeper on the core of what is rock cycle, let us know first what is a rock. Technically speaking, a rock is a solid cohesive aggregate of one or more minerals, meaning, depending on a certain size of a certain rock, it is composed of various grains and minerals and chemicals, and these mixtures are being held firmly to form a solid mass. A short trivia: geomorphology is the study of the process that shape the Earth's surface and the structures they create, and that includes rock cycle. Finally, here are the 3 major classifications of rock cycle, beginning with igneous rock, second, sedimentary rock, and third, metamorphic rock. This juncture, let us rock into the first classification. We have here the igneous rock. This rock is the most common rock type in the Earth's crust, which is solidified from magma, welling up from the Earth's interior. These are formed from the solidification of molten rock material. These rocks are classed as igneous rocks, from the word igni, the Latin word for fire, meaning to say, igneous rock originated from molten rocks or magma. These magma undergo the cooling process. After the cooling process is the solidification phase. As igneous rock forms, this breaks into tiny pieces or sediments. And then, the next classification of rock, which is the sedimentary rock. The second classification is sedimentary rocks. These are types of rocks formed by accumulation or deposition of small particles and subsequent cementation of mineral or organic particles on the floor of the oceans or other bodies of water at the Earth's surface. Sedimentation is the collective name for processes that cause these particles to settle in place. The last classification is metamorphic rock. These are pre-existing rocks which can be modified by heat, pressure, and chemical agents to create new form called metamorphic rock. Deeply buried strata of igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks are subjected to great heat and pressure by deposition of overlying sediments or while they are being squeezed and folded by tectonic processes.
Geological hazards. Geologic hazard is an extreme natural events in the crust of the earth that pose a threat to life and property. There are 4 kinds of geologic hazards. First is the earthquake, second is the volcanic eruptions, third is the tsunamis, tidal waves, and lastly landslides. Earthquakes. It is a sudden and violent shaking of the ground, sometimes causing great destruction as a result of movements within the Earth's crust or volcanic action. Volcanic eruption. when magma is released from a volcano. Volcanic eruptions can be quiet, calm, and effusive, or they can be explosive. Third is the tsunami. It is a series of waves caused by earthquakes or undersea volcanic eruptions. It is a giant waves caused by earthquake or volcanic eruption under the sea. Lastly is the landslides, also called landslip, the movement downslope of a mass of rocks, debris, earth, or soil. Soil being a mixture of earth and debris.
Good day everyone, this is Cherry Tamala and I'm here to present to you about the greenhouse effect. This phenomena is a natural atmospheric process that is necessary for life. The greenhouse effect has also an impact on the climate and the weather that we have today. In greenhouse effect, there are greenhouse gases, which are gases in Earth's atmosphere that trap heat. It is called the greenhouse effect because it is compared to the glass of a greenhouse, which transmits sunlight while trapping heat on the inside. Greenhouse gases are a general term for gases that are especially effective at capturing the long wavelength energy from the Earth's surface. However, too strong a greenhouse effect caused by the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation may create adverse environmental change. Climate changes have continued in recent years. The mean annual temperature of Earth has swung up and down by several degrees Celsius over the past million years. That is why all we can do right now is to adjust. We cannot stop the global warming. However, we can help lower its rapid increasing by doing simple things that will help the environment clean and green.
Weather and climate change. Objectives: to identify and learn the difference between the characteristics of weather and climate, and how we can combat as people in this planet against climate change. Weather: it is what's happening now or over some time, this hour, today, this weekend, in the atmosphere near the ground. It is commonly measured according to its temperature, pressure, cloudiness, precipitation, and winds. And most weather phenomena occur in the lowest level of atmosphere, the troposphere, just below the stratosphere. And one of the most visible consequences of a warming world is an increase in the intensity and frequency of extreme weather events.
Good day, ma'am. My name is Brian Tapping and my report will be about climate patterns. So climates are the characteristics of a certain latitude. An example of a certain latitude are latitude tropical, subtropical, subarctic, continental, and ETC. Instrumental record, the historical record, and the public proxy record, these are the data which document and understand climate change. Climate change is expected to worsen the frequency, intensity, and impact of some types of extreme weather events in the coming years, according to Center for Climate and Energy Solutions. People can adjust the threat of global warming in two ways. One, to adapt. This is self-explanatory. Two, to mitigate or mitigate. Work to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases and takes action to reduce the undesirable effects of global warming. Key elements to combat climate change. 1. Emission trading to promote cost-effective emission reductions. 2. Reduce deforestation. It is self-explanatory. 3. Technology sharing, which is a quick and highly cost-effective way to reduce emissions. 4. Help poorer countries by honoring pledges for development assistance to adapt climate change.
To summarize everything that we have discussed, it is indeed significant to be aware of the events happening in our environment that we lived in. Either the unnoticeable rock cycle, geological hazards, greenhouse effects, and the weather and climate change. All of these affects not just the non-living organisms, yet, most significantly, us human beings. Our destructive actions towards the environment will soon come back into our ways as consequence of our irresponsible behavior towards Mother Nature. And these are our references, which is constructed in an APA format. Thank you for listening, and I hope you've learned something from the 4 distinct topics that we've discussed. God bless and keep safe.